Hi everyone, I'm back again today with two books that go together. One is nonfiction. We're going to learn a lot of information from this book about a topic. The other one is fiction. The author made up a story and wrote it, but I want you to look at the covers and notice what they have in common. What's different about the covers? Let's start with the nonfiction book. Salamanders and Other Animals with Amazing Tales. It's by Susan LaBelle and published by Scholastic. Now, when I first saw this book, the yellow bold letters caught my eyes in the title, and I thought that this was going to be a book all about salamanders. But then I read the rest of the title and noticed the photographs at the bottom, and it told me that I'm going to learn about more than just salamanders in this book. Let's look at the table of contents. This is one of those Scholastic books that's going to begin with a word hunt. So we'll look at that in a moment and see what important words we should look for as I read the book. As I look down the table of contents, I get an idea of some of the other animals that I will be learning about in this book. Word hunt. Look for these words as you read. They will be in bold. Gecko, howler monkey, poisonous tail, predator, quills, squirrel, tail flukes. Now, some of those I know, actually a lot of those are words that we've already heard, and we might have an idea of what they mean. Tail flukes reminds me of an animal that I read to you about yesterday. Can you remember what animal that was that would have tail flukes? Tails. How does an animal use its tail? An animal can use its tail to hurt or trick animals that want to eat it. It can use its tail to move in trees or swim in water, too. Let's look at some animals that have amazing tails. This is a mud puppy salamander. Its tail helps it swim. Look at the shape of the tail. I noticed that it's flat and narrow. How do you think that would help the mud puppy swim? Spotted salamanders have poisonous tails. The poison can hurt a predator. A garter snake is a predator. It eats salamanders. Garter snake. This is a spotted salamander. Its tail has poison in it. A gecko uses its tail to trick a predator. If an animal bites the gecko's tail, the tail breaks off. The gecko gets away. Later, it grows another tail. Tail growing. See where it had broken off? This is a gecko. Its tail is gone. After a few months, its tail starts to grow. And you have to look carefully here. You can see the tail beginning to grow again. How does a porcupine scare away animals that want to eat it? It uses its quills. Quills are sharp hairs that cover a porcupine's tail. It can push its quills into another animal. Ouch! Look up close at those quills. They zoomed in. I want to make sure you see that. The quills on this porcupine are sharp. Look at how long those quills are. A squirrel uses its tail to balance on tree branches. That means its tail keeps it from falling over. Will this squirrel fall? No, its tail is helping it balance. So see how it holds its tail up to help it balance. A howler monkey has a strong tail. It uses its tail to help it swing from branch to branch. Tail. A whale uses its tail flukes to swim fast. It swims fast to catch prey or animals to eat. These fish are prey. This killer whale uses its strong tail flukes to chase the fish. Chomp. There are lots of fish to eat. Again, there it shows the tail flukes. A gecko's tail grows back. I'm going to hold this up so you can see the pictures better. 1. Look, this gecko lost its tail. It was attacked by a predator. 2. In 7 days, a new tail begins to grow. The tail is a different color. It's kind of hard to see. Notice how it's black as it starts to grow. 3. The tail grows and grows. It gets longer and changes color. 4. Wow! After 2 months, the tail is fully grown. 5. This gecko tricked its predator, and now it has a new tail. Your new words. Gecko, holler monkey, poisonous tail, predator, quills, squirrel, tail flukes. Why don't you pick 2 of those new words and talk to somebody at your house? What did you learn about those 2 new words? These animals have amazing tails too. Deer, elephant, rattlesnake, seahorse. Look at the tails. How do you think they use those tails? Do they use them to protect themselves? Do they use them to trick someone? Do they use them to hold on to things? And I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see there's a website if you want to try and find some more information out about wild animals. And here's the author. Susan LaBelle is a freelance writer of books, articles, and magazines for kids. She is the author of other books in the Scholastic News Nonfiction Reader Series. She lives in rural Connecticut where she sees squirrels with bushy tails in her backyard. I see lots of squirrels in my tail. No, not in my tail. In my backyard, using their tail to balance and hold on to the bird feeder. What other animals do you think I might see in my backyard that use their tails? Do you see any animals in your backyard that have amazing tails?